So I'm sitting here in Carnegie, Pennsylvania at my extended stay, and I just wanted to make a video, clean off the camera, of course, video real quick on to answer the age-old question of what the meaning of life is. Okay, so if anybody's watching this video, just understand the meaning of life is very simple. Before you take yours, just understand this, okay? The meaning of life is to be happy. That's it. That's it. There's nothing else more than that, is to be happy. If you're not currently happy, then you're not currently living. Okay, so here's why. All right, so why is happiness the meaning of life? In the pursuit of it, in constant pursuit of that is how we live, breathe, survive. Okay, it's because of this. Let's break it down. Okay, so I'm gonna do a class on this one day. Right now, I just want to do a video, so I just lock it in. So chop this up and we'll show it. Okay, so the meaning of life is this: happiness, because as a human being, you understand that there are 5 basic elements of you, okay? There are also 5 basic needs of you, okay? So what are your needs? There's only 5. There's 5 main ones. Everything falls in these 5 categories, all right? Anything you can think of, you can put in these 5 categories. Now, what are your elements? No matter what anybody tells you, whether you're watching a guru or not, there are 5 basic elements of you as a human. Okay, let's break them down. Number 1, 5 basic need is food, okay? So, food, you've got to eat, right? You've got to have something in your stomach, okay? All right, number 2 is water, okay? You have to drink water. You're 75% water, so it's important that you put water in your system, okay? It's like the oil to your machine. All right. Food is like the gas. Okay. Air. You have to breathe. You are a land animal. You must breathe. Okay. Food, water, air, shelter. Okay. You cannot live entirely without shelter. All right. Clothes on your back, the roof over your head. That is all shelter. Okay. All right. You have to have it. Okay. And a love/social connection with another human being. Okay. So you can have a cat. It's fine. But you need to be able to talk and share ideas, share experiences. That is why you must have a social or love connection with another human being. Same thing, social and or love, right? Whatever. However, that means you cannot live in isolation. So you have to get outside. You have to get vitamin D. That's why these social apps and all that stuff, they kind of twist it for monetary gain. Obviously, Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, no disrespect to those guys, but they are gaining money by changing the narrative. On the right path, because there's a human on the other end of this connection. However, you got to understand that it's not organic. It's not supposed to happen. That's why those connections usually fail. If anything in nature just does not it doesn't just work naturally, then it's not supposed to happen, okay? So if you have to force it, it's not supposed to happen. If it doesn't happen organically, it's not supposed to happen, okay? Nature wants things to happen certain ways, and they'll edge according to what you want, okay? But anyways, back to what we're saying. All right. So we're talking about food, water, air, shelter, and a social love connection with another human being, okay? All right. You cannot live entirely without food. You can live with little food, but you can't live entirely without food. You can't live entirely without water. You can't live entirely without air. You can't live entirely without shelter. You can't live entirely without a love connection with another human being. Or social connection, we can call it. We don't have to say love, but just basically you must be a part of society, okay? Because if you're not, you will die. Everything else, you'll be upset, but you won't die. You will physically die if you're in complete isolation. You will physically die if you're not eating. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay. And also, social connection, taking one's own life is a possibility too if you are completely isolated. So yes, like I said, one way or another, you will die if you are completely without those 5 things. Moving on. There's 5 elements of a human being. Okay, that's mind, body, soul or spirit, heart or emotions, and sexuality. Okay, so those 5 basic elements of every single human must be fed, nourished, and educated and protected. Okay, and encouraged. Those 5 things I like to say: fed, nurtured, all right, educated, protected, and all that such jazz. Okay, that is the mind, body, heart, soul, and sexuality. Mind. You must be educated. Okay, your mind must be protected. What you believe in must be protected from others, from harm. Okay. Body. Your body must be protected. Okay, you can't be getting beat up all the time. All right, physically. But also your body must be nurtured, fed. Okay, takes us back to how do you survive? Feed your body. Okay, but nurtured, meaning my body is taken care of because your body's a temple. Heart, same thing. Your heart must be fed. Okay, you must see beautiful things constantly. You must be getting out there, getting experience, getting dopamine rushes. You know, your emotions must be pushed and pulled. Okay, your emotions, your heart, they have to be activated. If you sit in the house, you watch TV all day, your emotions are going to get activated, but eventually they're going to numb out. Okay, because you're watching the same exact show in the same exact position as you've watched it for 20 years. So that's why we see certain people withering away that don't leave their house, but the people who are outside constantly grow. It's weird because another element comes into play. If you're not growing, you're decaying. You can't stay stagnant. It's impossible. You will decay. You won't just stagnate, right? Plateau is what they say. It doesn't exist. You will decay. Okay? All right. Soul. Your soul must be fed. It doesn't matter if you are religious or you're not. It doesn't matter if you follow astrology or you don't. It does not matter. Your soul must be fed. You must feel a connection with a higher purpose, a higher calling. You must be pushed to do something greater than your own self. Okay? That will feed your soul because your soul is actually, whether you believe it or not, is connected to the stars. Okay? Your soul is. The stars want to see that. Okay? Why? Because everything below the stars is part of astrology as well. Because it's science. It is part of our understanding of how this planet was made, matter and energy into what we have today. Okay? Like I always say, there's only two things in the universe plus one. All right? Matter and energy. That's it. Everything in the universe you could break down to either matter or energy. And compatibility. That's what makes nature. Okay? Two things in the universe, matter and energy. Those being compatible make nature. All right? Doesn't matter what it is. Water is only made in nature if hydrogen and oxygen, two atoms of hydrogen, mixes with one atom of oxygen and creates water. The hydrogen and oxygen must be compatible to do that. They can't be explosive or they won't create. Okay? And you won't see it in nature, right? So that's part of how you get anything you want. Also, if it's energy you have, which is believing, that's energy. Speaking, that's energy. Believing and speaking, plus doing, that's matter. You put those two together, you'll have compatibility and it'll come true in nature. All right? You understanding that will make your soul grow because you will chase after a higher purpose. Then you have mind, body, heart, soul, sexuality. Yes, you must feed, protect, just like your soul also. You must feed, protect, and educate your own sexuality. All right? That is how you thrive. Excuse me, that is how you survive. That is how you survive. That is how you survive. Understand those 10 things. Understand the 5 basic needs of a human being. You must feed and, you must have those taken care of at a healthy level. Then you must understand the 5 basic elements of a human. And you must feed, nurture, protect those. If you want to go in further to survive, you also have to have resources. So there are 5 resources. Number 5 is very big in the universe. There are 5 resources. Number 1 is time. Number 2 is money. Number 3 is health. All right. Number 4 is physical safety. Okay. And number 5 is your ability to create relationships with others. Okay. Those are in order too, because number 1 is your time. Okay. That is the most valuable resource you have. It is not currency. It is not money. It is your time. Your time on this planet is crucial. All right, for you to protect it and you to understand the value of it. Your money, next. That is the next crucial thing. Okay, so being able to understand and protect your money. Okay, these resources are things you must know how to control. All right, you must understand them. So I guess there's 3 parts of surviving. That is your mind, body, heart, soul. So your basic elements, basic needs, and your understanding of your resources. So you got your time. You understand how to protect your time, budget it, don't waste it. Money, same thing. Okay? Your health. You must understand your health. You must understand your whole body's health. Mind, body, heart, soul, sexuality. You must be healthy in all those areas to have health, obviously. Because if your mind is healthy, but your body is crap, and then your spirit's, you're still going to be sucking at life. Okay? So everything must be healthy. Mind, body, heart, soul, and sexuality. You must have health in all of them and understand each of them. Then you must have control and understanding of your safety. Okay? Don't just run off getting into fights and getting your butt kicked all the time every day, unless it's professionally, that's what you're into. But one of those butt kickings could end your life. So you must not play with your physical security. Okay? Your physical safety. All right? And those you love's physical safety. Don't play with it. You don't need to be jumping off of bridges with a bungee cord attached to your ankle, because when you die, when you're doing that crap, you are not going to, no one's going to feel sorry for you. Everyone's going to be like, you asked for that. But that's because you put your life in danger. Now, don't get me wrong. You should have experiences and have fun. Okay? But you got to weigh, what are the odds that doing this, my life will end? If there is a chance, don't do it, because that means you're rolling the dice. And if you roll wrong, you die. Like, that's not a good trade-off. Don't put your life unnecessarily at risk. If you do something, do it with all safety measures in place. All right? So this has to go wrong. Then it'll fall to this. Then that has to go wrong for it to fall to this. Then that has to go wrong for it to fall to this. That has to go wrong for it to fall to this. And if that goes wrong, then you die. Okay, cool. A lot of stuff has to go wrong. All right? The odds are greater in your favor. Still enjoy your life, but don't risk it unnecessarily. All right, so that's physical safety, right? And then your ability to create relationships. You have to understand that, because that's one of the basic needs of a human. If you don't know how to sell, if you don't know how to connect with people, if you don't know how to, communicate, you will fail. You'll fail. How do we connect with people? How do we communicate? We do that, and it's sales. Yes, you've been doing it since you were a toddler. When you asked mommy for that candy, that was a sales presentation. Hey, look at this cute face. You are emotionally attached to it. Let me get some candy. How do we connect with people? Simple. I'm probably gonna write a book on this. There's 2 elements of a human, okay? Or 2 parts of the mind. The limbic system, we want to say. All right? Number 1 is the emotional side. Number 2, system. Number 2 is the logical system, okay? Every human has one, all right? It could be out of balance because of chemicals, because of poison, toxins, in their body, whatever. But you do understand that you're naturally born with emotional and logical, okay? We're not going to get too far into that because I don't have a PhD. But emotional and logical. Okay. System 1, system 2. Emotions come first and then logic comes into play. All right. So if you're a salesperson, you understand this. I'm a salesperson. I understand that people buy with their emotions and justify with their logic, right? So that is how you communicate with people. You speak to their emotions. How do you speak to their emotions? You must understand them. There are 6 ways to understand and basically connect with a human being, okay? Very first is build rapport. Step 1, you must build rapport. You must be on common ground. People buy things from people they, number 1, are exactly alike. Number 2, that they like, and number 3 that like them. So if you're not exactly like the person that's across from you, or if you are, you're going to connect with them easier. You're going to be able to communicate. You'll be good. If you're not, but they like you, you're still good. Communicate with them. But if you're not and they don't like you, what do? Well, show them how much you like them and communicate with them. Okay? You're still always good. There's never a chance, unless you fail. That third level is if they don't like you, you don't like them, and you stay away. That there's no sale going to happen. There's no rapport, because you have to go to rapport first. Number 2, you have to build trust. You have to build credibility. Listen, guys, gals, if you're at the bar, you're trying to hook up with someone you think is hot. Okay, cool. You still have to do this. If they're exactly like you, you're going to hook up. If you still go through the steps. If they are not, but they like you, you're good. If they don't like you, but you show them how much you like them, it'll move slower, but eventually you'll get the sale. And I'm not saying just hook up. I'm talking about anything. Like if you're selling phones, if you sell cars, if you sell houses, if you sell jewelry, you sell cat food, it doesn't matter. It all goes off of this. It starts with a connection with a human, because that human has the money you're looking for. That human has the romance you're looking for. That human has the opportunity you're looking for. You must connect with them. You must build rapport, get them to either like you or like them, or be like them. Then you must build trust and credibility. So to get to know somebody, you must understand who they are. And to understand who they are, you must talk to them. So that's where communication is huge in most relationships, right? Is because you talk, you communicate, and it's necessary to do this. Then after trust and credibility, so rapport was number 1, trust and credibility was 2, build trust and credibility, okay? You do that by asking questions. Now, they answer the question, and you can solve whatever issue they have, or whatever you're looking to accomplish. You can get it because you have a connection now, because you understand where their hot buttons are, where their pain points are, where their struggle is. But trust that you don't just, use it against them. Okay. After that, solve a problem. If you're looking to get a big client on board of what you want to do, what you want to sell, product, service, idea, whatever, then you must, after you get to know them and where their pain points are and, who they are, what their problem is. Okay? What is their you gain the information first, then you find out if they have a problem. So you gain information, trust and credibility. Let's go back. Rapport, 1, connect. 3 ways. I'm exactly like you. I like you. You like me. I'm exactly like you, number 1. You like me, number 2. And I like you, number 3. Then trust and credibility. Ask them questions. Who are they? Find out what they do in life, what they like. Okay? Find out what they're looking for. Find out stuff about them. Then information. How you can be of service to them. How can you help? You ask them that question. Figure out if there is a problem, what it is. Then provide the solution. Okay? So I'll say information and problem are together. So that's rapport, trust and credibility, information, problem, solution. Find out if you can actually help them. Then suggest it, and it doesn't have to be you doing it. You can refer them, hey, I know a guy. Let me call him. Now you can make the connection, okay? And the final step is, I don't know if I'm on a number now. The final step is you ask them to do business, or you ask them to connect, or you ask them to be your friend, or you ask them to be your lover. That's what you do. But look, if that was 5 steps, then 4 out of the 5, 80% of them were about the person. If you talked about yourself during trust and credibility, okay. 3 out of 5, 60% was about the person. But look what I just did there. Look what I showed you. Whenever you connect with someone, it's more about them than it is about you, okay? Now, if you understand those three things, you understand the elements of a human, you understand the basic needs of a human, and you understand the basic resources of a human, you will survive. I promise you. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. There's no need to take your life at this point. There's no need to risk yourself unnecessarily. There's no need to be depressed. You'll be fine. You'll survive. Okay. To thrive, though, you want to monetize that survival skill that you have now? Cool. Write a book, talk about it, help others figure it out. The second you help other people understand those three things and implement them in their own lives, you'll thrive. When you're thriving, you have to be surviving first. You can't help anyone until you help yourself. When you're thriving, when you're thriving, you'll be surviving. When you're thriving, you'll be surviving because you have to survive first. So if you're thriving and surviving, right? You're helping people. Maybe you're monetizing it by actually selling a product using the techniques that I just laid out. But let me tell you, if you're thriving in your resources, because that's what thriving is all those elements are amplified. If you're thriving in your resources, thriving in your being, thriving in your basic needs, you have everything you want and then some. Will you not be happy? The answer is yes, you will be happy. Could you live like that? Thriving? Yes. The answer is you will be able to live thriving, which is happy. If you died after thriving at any point, like doing it 20 years or 20 minutes, if you died after thriving and you got to experience thriving, you would die happy because you're living happy. So this word happy, you could live it and you would be fine dying after you've experienced thriving. So if the definition of thriving makes you happy, then what is the meaning of life? It's to be happy. That's the meaning of life. So if anyone ever asks, what is the meaning of life? Just tell them to be happy. To be happy. To be happy. The pursuit of happiness. That's it. Happiness is thriving. Thriving is surviving. You must maximize survival and then help others to maximize survival in their own lives to thrive. And if you thrive, you're wealthy, you're surviving at the best level. So you're happy. Odds are, who would be upset about that? You're happy. And if you died after experiencing that, you would die happy. So it's safe to say that happy is the goal. Be happy. Live happy. Always. And do it as much as you possibly can. Over and over and over again. So, boom. Like, share, subscribe. Just kidding. All right. I love you guys.